Oh, it's a surprise for me, and I was not really prepared for it. And I have a long association with Chandra, and we work together. I had my own dream to write a book, but I'm extremely happy that Chandra has written the book. So he has fulfilled some desire that I had, and I'm still having that, and you are fulfilling that. So he was very much part of my life, and when we started, we of course worked very briefly together, maybe for about 2 years or so.
Five,
But
sir.
5 years? Oh, okay. And I'm so happy to meet his mom and dad, and quite associated with his family as well. And I saw his nephew born, and the other day he was saying that he goes to college, right? So this shows that we are aging. And so now, as Chandra writes about the ground shifts, well, this ground kept shifting for me as well, right from dot-com bust to great financial that meltdown in around 2007, and then that Satyam disaster. So it kept on going, and but what is interesting is that every time this ground shifted for me, I happened to be on a better ground. So every time it happened, and I never lost days of salary. I never had any agony, any anxiety, but I kept on moving. So what is important there is that so one needs to be extremely passionate about what we do, extremely passionate. When our work and passion they come together, then there is no looking back. You always the ground can never shift for you. Okay, so this passion and your profession when they come together, but it seldom comes. It doesn't come so easily because you start with some career, you keep on moving, and you keep discovering yourself. Like then after about 2015 or so, then I thought that I have been vice president in multi-billion dollar company, and so I'm no good to be a CEO, and that's what I can be. And then I started working on my PhD. I completed that. So I started my journey in academics. So that is where I started with IMT Ghaziabad. I joined as a professor, and I was setting up some of the lab. That time, digital marketing and such, and this social sentiment analysis. Those were the in things. So I set up that lab. Then I came to Bangalore. I was a professor there, and then finally my destiny brought me to Trichy. So I became the director at BIM Trichy. So there they wanted an academic who has a long industry experience. So that is where I was. So when I look back and having gone through this process of this shifting ground and recovering from that, so I feel few things are very important. One aspect is that integrity. So integrity is something that you cannot really learn in your 2 years of MBA or in your classroom. This integrity value system that comes from the family. So this integrity is very important. The trust factor, are you trustworthy? So these two things I found extremely important. The other aspect is continuous learning. This continuous learning is needed because if you are not learning continuously, then that is where you get stagnant. The organization, and Chandra was talking about AI, so I'm working a lot on GenAI space. Because of the GenAI today, the organization structure itself is shifting. Like traditional organization structure is that pyramid style, but now it is getting the diamond style. Okay, why it is a diamond style? Because the pyramid style, at the bottom layer you have the implementation or the execution layer. So that is where most of us used to start our career first. Okay, and that is where we spend about good 10-15 years in that implementation and all that that execution phase. So that is where you end up becoming delivery manager in IT industry, parlor, or maybe shop floor manager in nut and bolt industry. So that's how you move. But with Gen AI coming, so that gets shrinked. So it becomes like a diamond structure. So in the middle layer, so that is where you have to quickly get in. So that is where not the using AI, but auditing the AI output. So are you ready for that? So at BIM, we are extensively working on that auditing that middle edge, that middle layer. How can you be in that? It's like in operations management. You solve a problem using say ChatGPT or other Gen AI tool, and then you solve it yourself and see the difference. Why is it? Learning the logic. So that is very, very important. Auditing the AI and the consulting and the strategy aspects. And mind it, about more than 70% of AI implementations fail. It fails because AI cannot be an standalone element. So AI has to be done with a lot of systemic change, lot of business process reengineering. So that is what is needed, and it is moving more towards agentic AI, taking complete system into the focus. So this is the journey one has to make. And this is where people are failing. I find that people remain in the implementation or the execution layer. From there, the next layer, where the stakeholders keep changing, where the tasks keep changing, so they can't adapt to that. So that is what is very, very important. In this context, I'm also telling you one incident, like a lot of discussion happened about the women's career and career break. So I hired one senior banker, and she is a PhD from this JNU, and she worked with Citibank and then HSBC, working in AI space. She was transferred to Dubai, but she didn't want to go to Dubai, and she is based in Bangalore. So when I met her, she was saying that asked her that would you like to get into academics? So she agreed. So I hired her as an assistant professor, and I can always take her as associate professor. She is quite experienced, but my AICT rule did not permit that, so I took her as assistant professor. The condition is that she will be operating from Bangalore. So now in academics, you don't have work from home kind of facility, but she comes from Bangalore whenever she has classes, but otherwise she does it from Bangalore itself. And what I engaged her is that I asked her to create a center for industrial consulting and research. And let me tell you, we are one of the few B schools today in the country that is doing consulting services in this analytics space, in this GNAI space. Okay, and we are the first business schools in or the first institute in Tamil Nadu to have created our finance lab with 12 Bloomberg terminal, much before IT Madras or IIM Trichy. Now they are doing it, of course. So all this story we created, we started earning revenue in GenAI applications, and the end users are based in East Coast and in Singapore in financial services and healthcare domain. So this is the story of a lady who came out from the bank, had a career break, and wanted to join back and was transferred to Dubai. But I brought her into academics, giving her some flexibility, and she is creating this kind of a change in the system. And no other institute will have that kind of flexibility to have a person joining directly as a professor and staying somewhere else, not in that particular location. It will not be usually approved, but with this kind of flexibility allowed, this that lady really did a magic for us, and it became a kind of a story that we could talk about. So this is how many stories are there, and only thing that I'm not a very good storyteller and could not write a book, but you have inspired me, and I wish you all the best. Okay, So I was not ready to talk, but I thought that I can share some of my experiences. And with that, I hope many of us can carry a lot of learning from this and learn. But anyway, I'm just reaching the end of my shelf life. So background, but many of us will need it, and I'm definitely going to present to my son and others this book, and I invite you to come to my campus and talk to my students. And I think we should popularize this book, and my library also will have this book, The Ground Shifts. Okay. So with that, thank you so much for listening to me. I congratulate once again to Chandra. Thank you. Jai Hind. Congratulations.
Let me present you with a copy.
Thank you,
of the
Dr.
book.
Barma.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
for those valuable insights. Chandra would like to give you a copy of the book. Please, ladies and gentlemen.